Hello, goodbye, and hello again. Welcome back to Drifter Carbon and another Minecraft texture pack review. Today we're taking a look at Sci-Fi Robots by Hero Pixel Games. It is 490 Minecraft coins and 10.6 megabytes. It has block variations, animated blocks, and custom sounds. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Hey, look, I'm a computer. Anyway. I figured we'd start with the mobs on this one since that's one of the main focuses of it because it's the robot pack. So we'll look at the robot mobs. Here's the chicken. It's got a little antenna sticking out of its back. It's a remote control chicken. Kind of cute. Here's the bee. It's got like a VR helmet on its face or something, or just some cyber glasses. The cow looking very robotic there as well. Kind of cute version of these. Oh, look at the pig. Oh, the pig has like a little spacesuit on. It's little thrusters that actually emit smoke. Okay, that's really cute. I like that. The farm animals are a lot of fun in this pack. Here we have a robot sheep. Hold on, let me shave the sheep. That's what the sheep looks like under its wool. And the wolf and wolf armor. There you go. So this pack was updated recently enough that the trial chamber stuff is here, but the Pale Garden stuff isn't. Just so you know. Hopefully they update it at some point in the future for the newer stuff. The polar bear. He's got kind of robotic legs and a mask on. The ocelot. Ocelot is so robotic that it doesn't have spots. The cat. Oh, the cat looks kind of weird. Some of the cats look fine, but when they're tame and they're sitting down, hold on. Standing up better? No, not that one just seems to be glitching out. That's a minor issue there. We do have a couple of variations on the cat, but they look very similar to each other when they're not glitching out like that. That's strange. Here's the mushroom. It's got a robotic body and like a mushroom hat on its head. Kind of funny. Here's the bat. Oh, that's a very different looking bat. Interesting. The parrot. They're just kind of metallic birds. Gray birds with glowing eyes. The rabbit. Also has sort of a cyberpunk goggles going on there. The llama. Some interesting, the blankets and stuff look like they've got little, like, I'm not sure if those are storage containers on their butt or if that's like jet boosters or what, but kind of cute and different. Here's the horse and horse armor, rather. There you go. So the horse armor just adds an extra layer of armor on top, of course. But the horses already look pretty armored, if you ask me. The donkey and the mule. At least the donkey and the mule look different from the more different than usual from the horses. Well, I guess they are somewhat similar, but you know, skeleton horse. And zombie horse. It's got, you know, metal ribs there. There's the zombie horse. Jump in with the tropical fish. Nothing too crazy with the tropical fish. I was expecting them to be robots. Here's the cod. There you go. That's sort of a robotic cod. Here is the puffer fish. Wait for them to puff up. You can see them at their different stages of puffiness. A little less shocked than usual pufferfish. The salmon. Here we go. They have robotic heads and like bands on their bodies where they turn. dolphin. Kind of a cute pink robo-dolphin there. Oh, what's going on with the turtle? Is this like a CD player on his back? I'm not sure what that is. Is it like a launcher? Or it's got a little door that opens and closes. Interesting. Okay. Kind of strange, but a fun difference to the sea turtle there. The panda has kind of goggles resting on its head there, and kind of a robotic plate on its back. The fox. Some augmentation going on there. Oh, we have another creeper that the creepers have this like border around them, this aura. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's like I'm not sure if I don't think these are charged creepers. I think these are the regular creepers. But, you know. Oh, here's an Enderman. He's nice and close to us this time. We can actually see him. Kind of a fun design for the Enderman there. The silverfish. Forgot what they were called for a second there. They have kind of bands around them instead of like laser bands, laser rings. The skeletons are robots, appropriately enough. More of a traditional robot instead of a cyborg. But they've got little antennas that flick around as they do their idle animations. So there's some animation on these mobs. Wither skeleton has kind of a gas mask going on. The stray, I'm going to have to come over here and get a better look at the stray. Of course, now he's facing that way. But of course, if I come back around here, he'll be facing the other way. Yep. Told you. Well, okay, there you go. He's got like Sam Fisher style night vision goggles on. The slime. Looks like it's in a glass cube. Spider and cave spider. Oh, that's interesting. They've got like totally different things coming out of their back. So that's that's an extra level of detail that we're not used to seeing, where the cave spider and the spider are that different from each other. The zombie has kind of a space helmet on, or maybe it's just a robot with the face on a screen, I guess. The bogged. Try to get a better look at the bogged. There you go. That's what they look like. Here's the husk. And the... Oh, better look at the husk's face. There you go. And the drowned. It's got something sticking out of its head, or I guess it's kind of like a scanner, maybe, or some sort of laser coming off of its head there. Squid and glow squid have kind of a couple of interesting designs here, actually. Get in the water so we can see them better. Got a very red robotic squid there, and I think this is the glow squid. Yes, this is a glow squid, and it's got like lights shining out of its head there. Do we have variations on the squid? No. Okay. Just making sure. The witch has some sort of big ring around its back. Not sure what the deal is with that. We've seen a couple of mobs like that. The Guardian and Elder Guardian have kind of a metallic jaw. Almost looks like something out of a different series. Here's, let's spawn in an endermite. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, set off a firework. Oh, that's kind of a fun particle on the firework. And throw a snowball. Nothing crazy with the snowball. That's the wind charge. It has a custom animation. Here's what the map looks like. We need an endermite. There we go. It's got a little antenna. Here's the magma cube. It does look different. Some packs don't bother to change the magma cube. It actually emits little like arrow particles when it jumps. The Strider has kind of a weird thing going on where it's got this. It's kind of glitching out. Like you can't see its legs because the hairs sticking off of its body have kind of a bounding box around them that make everything behind it turn invisible. Not sure what's going on there, but that seems like a glitch. Zoglin, zombified Hoglin. Kind of a cute design for a Zoglin. Got smoke coming out of its back. Zombified Piglin. And zombified Piglin Brute. Here's the goat. Mostly just, I guess it's got like robotic legs, right? Yeah, it's got like robot legs. The axolotl, we'll have to jump in with them. They've got, almost looks like, oh, they've got like scuba masks. That's different. They can already breathe underwater. I'm not sure why they would need a snorkel, but you know, they've got snorkels. I'm not going to complain about doing something interesting. Here we have the Allay. Kind of a very different aesthetic for the Allay because they're red instead of blue. The frogs also have kind of visors going on. And their visors flip down some of the time. Wandering Trader. There you go. That's what he looks like. Let's get a better look at his backpack. That's his main feature in this pack. And you can see that the accessories are different on the Trader's llamas. There's the camel. It's got another like remote control style antenna sticking out of its back machinery. Here we have the Blaze. Interesting. Yeah, you know, let me see if I can get a better look at its face. There you go. It's got eyeballs. It's got kind of blaze-like eyeballs. The Ghast. There you go. Kind of it's got some green on it. So the Happy Ghast stuff is too new, of course. Here's the Shulker. Nothing too crazy going on with them. The Vindicator and Evoker. Kind of a different hat he's got there. And the Evoker looks like something out of oh, there was a game called like Divine Cybermancy. That's what it makes me think of. I may be thinking of the completely wrong game, but that's what came to mind when I saw that guy. Here's the villagers. Oh, instead of having legs, they've got treads. And the treads actually roll when they walk. Okay. I like when people do something different with the mobs, and that's definitely different. Only seems to be one kind of villager, and then they've got their accessories. One villager face, I mean. Zombie villager looks like a zombified version of the or a rogue AI version of the villager. Here's the Phantom. The Pillager. That's what they look like. They've also got treads. Here we have the Ravager. It's got kind of a like a mask on as well. I'm not sure why it would need a mask, but you know. Here we have the Iron Golem and damaged Iron Golem, and I'm assuming that the more damaged it is, the more that the color changes. I'm not sure whether red means damaged and green. I'm assuming red means damaged and green means not damaged. The Snow Golem with its pumpkin carved off. Appropriately robotic. Here we have the Sniffer. It's got kind of things jutting off of it there. And the armadillo. This looks like a robot armadillo to me. Here we have the warden. Hold on, see if we can get a better look at him. He's got kind of almost looks like he's got like his hands are floating, hovering off of his arms there. But kind of a fun design. Here's the breeze, the newest mob in this pack. And of course, can't have one of these packs without looking at the wither. They've got 3 different heads there. And the creaking is 2 new. So yeah, I think they did a pretty good job with the mobs in this pack. They did some creative things, and it all seems very on theme. Let's go check out the blocks. Here's a couch or a bench, a robo couch, if you will. Water cooler. Here's what the Nether portal looks like. I still say the wrong thing sometimes. As I said, Pale Garden stuff is too new. Let's look at things that grow. Some nice little baby trees here, robo baby trees. Also, you can see there's variations on some of the blocks. Like these are all grass, but there's different patterns for the circuit board style grass there. And here we have the crops. Yeah, some of these are interesting approaches to like the carrots have like a metal cap on them for some reason on the edge of the carrot. I guess how else do you make a carrot robotic, right? There's the wither rose back there. Oh, what was that in the background there? Do I have a pig back there? I have a pig back there. How did a pig get back there? Mobs don't spawn in randomly in this world anymore. That's interesting. Anyway, flowers. Not my favorite flower designs, but I guess they work. There's the sunflower. Looks like it's got buttons on it. The drip leaf. Here's a cactus with kind of a metallic seam in the middle. The composter, different stages of compost. We have the here's the nether trees. We'll get a better look at those when we go to the nether. Giant mushrooms. Here's the different logs. So as you can see, there's different patterns for each of the log type, except for the pale oak, of course. And they do look different when you shave them as well. So you've kind of got twice as many log patterns there. The planks also have totally different patterns from each other, which is excellent. I love when there's variety. Does not appear to be variations on each version of plank, but that's okay because we've got all the many different patterns. Here's dirt, sand, gravel, and moss. Here's sand and gravel. You can definitely tell how suspicious your sand is and your gravel. They've got little swirlies. There's sandstone. Here's stone and stuff. Okay. So one of these is just a hazard sign there. I guess that's bedrock. So you're not, you know not to try to dig past the bedrock in this pack. I think that the stone and stuff section looks pretty good. We do have some variations within like the end stone. So, and the netherrack. Here's polished stone, cobblestone. Here's bricks. Doesn't appear to be variations on brick, but these are not necessarily my favorite bricks we've ever seen, but I think they look pretty good for the theme. They seem to be on theme. Stone, bricks, blocks, etc. There you go. We have glass. So nice and easy to see through the glass, as we saw earlier. There is kind of a border around them, but it didn't get in the way too much. Here's wool. Here's the concrete powder and the regular concrete. Kind of a bullseye pattern on the concrete there. Terracotta has kind of a stripedy pattern. Here's glazed terracotta. Yeah, you know, some good designs. They're different from vanilla. Ore. Oh, we got glowing ore. Okay, so it's easier to see the ore than most packs. You're not going to mistake ore for regular stone in this pack because it glows. Nether ore. That's kind of an interesting thing there. Deep slate ore, same story, you know. Nice and easy to tell the difference. Amethyst. It's a machine that grows amethyst. Random lonely magma block does animate. It is glowing, but it looks very different from what we're used to seeing. There's the sponge. Boy, you can definitely tell the difference between the wet and the dry. They don't even look similar to each other. Light sources. Didn't do anything too crazy with the light sources, although the lamps do glow. There's your bulbs. Oh, that's kind of a very interesting approach to doing a campfire. I like the smoke. That's oh, by the way, here's the sky as well. That's what the sky and the clouds look like, the sun and the clouds. But that's one of my favorite things in this pack so far is the smoke there. Here's miscellaneous light sources. I was expecting some of these to be animated as well. Oh, I guess it is, actually. There is. It may be difficult to see on your screen, but there is some animation happening. And the eyes glow on the jack-o'-lantern as well. Here's your signs. I think these are readable enough. Some of these have a little more decoration going on them. That one's going to be hard to read. That one's pretty much useless. I feel like they could have found a better way to do that. But other than that particular sign, I think the rest of these work pretty well. The font is kind of thin. I might have liked to see a thicker font, especially since we're dealing with patterns on the signs. Monster spawner. Here's fences and gates. One of the fences is like a warning stripe, and we got some robotic ones here too. There's your walls in the background there. Dried kelp block looks very different than usual. Got some animation on the diamond, lapis, gold, emerald, and redstone blocks. Love to see it. Always going to earn some bonus points for having some nice animation. Iron block is also animated. Rock, copper, gold, and iron. Lodestone. Prismarine. There's a slime block and honey. Kind of a strange looking honeycomb there. Hay bale, bone block, looks like it's made of metal. Quartz. Yeah, I think these are usable quartz. Here's the copper. Didn't do anything too wild with the copper. The ladder. Let's look at doors. Yeah, I think these are some good door designs. They fit the theme pretty well. I would have liked to have seen more doors with windows, but we got some doors with windows. Here's trapdoors. We got bookcases. It looks like there's only one bookcase design. Here's what the book looks like. It looks like a screen, appropriately enough. Here's the enchanting table. Oh, let's look at the UI while I'm thinking about it. Pretty decent little item bar down there. I think that's usable. And same thing with the menu. No problems there. We do have different patterns on the beds, which is nice. They're pretty simple, but, you know, they've got different symbols. So you got variety. Crafting tables and villager job tables. Some of these might be a little difficult to tell what they are just at a glance, but... you know, I think eventually you'd figure out what they were. That's the cartography table, obviously. The rest of them are a little harder to tell what's what. Very different block cutter here. It's like a... I don't really know how you describe that. Is that laser or is that just some sort of spinning saw, or I don't know. But anyway, here's the crafter. You can tell how damaged your anvil is. Here's things in cauldrons. Here's chests. The trap chests do have a red light on them, so you can tell which one's trapped. There's the barrel, jukebox, and note block. Didn't change the sound effects on those. The empty armor stand is an interesting example because it looks totally different from what you'd expect. The beacon and the bell. Doesn't seem to have changed the bell sound. There's the beam on the beacon. There's iron bars. Let's look at paintings. Yeah, we got some pretty decent pixel art here. Very sci-fi, very, you know, cyberpunk or I guess just sci-fi. I like most of these designs. I think that these definitely work. There's the item frame. Here's the rails. You can definitely tell the difference between the different rails. You're not going to mistakenly place the wrong rail. Oh, things in... Okay, so things in minecarts. These are... Well, we'll look at the... We'll look at Greg in the minecart because it's a little easier to see the whole minecart, because otherwise they're clipping into each other. But it's kind of a hover cart. It's got a custom geometry for the 3D model for the minecart, which I do like to see. That's a pretty rare thing. Here's redstone stuff. There's your sticky piston. Does look like we have custom designs on the pottery, which is always a nice addition. Those are pretty good. Are they glowing? Are they animated? No, I thought they were at first, but I guess not. Scaffolding. Here's the banners. Here's the different boats. We got some decent designs on the boats, going off of the wood patterns, of course. There's various tuff. The trial spawner and vault. Get close to the vault. It lights up and it opens its mouth and has little caution symbols, caution triangles going into its mouth. Resin is too new. Here's a target, and here's the mob heads. There's the dragon egg. We got some metallic dripstone. Lightning rod, chain, heavy core, conduit. Didn't do anything too crazy with those. Here's what the TNT looks like. We'll fly over here and look at the sea pickles and the seagrass and the kelp. And that's what the lily pads look like. We do have different lily pads. Here's the dead coral and the live coral. The border on the window is a little obstructive at times. And there's the coral blocks back there. So yeah, I think they did a pretty good job with the blocks. You know, I think it's very sci-fi. It fits the robotic theme, and there were a few standout things like the minecart that really take it up a notch. Let's go check out the armor. Here we have the armor and the weapons as well. Here you can see that each of these are all swords that they're holding, and they've got completely different designs. I'm not overly fond of most of the look of these swords personally, but you know, I think that the armor looks pretty good. I mean, it's pretty simple, but some of them are simple at least, but they are different geometry and they're very different from each other. And you definitely look like you're at least part robot when you're wearing armor. So I think that they fit the theme very well. The elytra is kind of hard to see on these armor stands, unfortunately. That's what that looks like. Here's the shield. It has custom geometry. The turtle helmet is a like a, you know, glass helmet. Fun looking trident there as well. They've done a good job with their extra weapons and stuff. It's weird just seeing things floating instead of there being a model there to hold stuff, but you know. Here we have the armor trims. These are amethyst armor trims on iron armor. Does look like they have custom trims that are just reminiscent of the default ones. But I do like the fact that there's different versions of each of the tools as well. A lot of packs just have like color swaps for the same model on each of the weapons, but weapons and tools and stuff. Here's the 2D model of each of these. Yeah, I guess, you know, I mean, they look better in small form factor than they do when it's in your hand, but I think they did a decent job with the weapons and tools, making it look robotic, you know. There's your respawn compass, your regular compass, and your clock. That's what the elytra looks like. I think these are horns. They're like megaphones, I guess. That's the horse armor there. Here's bottles. Some very robotic looking bottles. That looks like something out of Mega Man. Seeds, and then here's the fruit. That's like a packaged food there. Kind of an interesting take on some of the food items there. Not necessarily the most appetizing foods that I've ever seen, but the music discs are like cassette tapes. Kind of funny. I would have expected them to be like USB sticks or something, but we've seen other packs do that, so I guess it's better to mix it up. That's things in buckets. They're kind of just little containers. Here's minerals. Not a huge fan of the items, if I'm being honest. I think they're on theme, but I could have liked the designs themselves more, I guess. But that's just personal taste, honestly. There's nothing necessarily wrong with them. Okay, let's go check out the Nether. All right, this is the Nether. You can see that the magma looks kind of strange in the in the Nether there, but you know, it's a robotic landscape, so whatever. Here's the non-zombified hoglins. They do still have some flesh hanging out. They're not completely robots. Fly over here. Here's what the respawn anchor looks like. Here's the piglins. Non-zombified piglins. We do have a couple of different versions. Always nice to see that, and they're appropriately cyborg piglins. Those turned out pretty nice. We'll fly over this way and look at another biome. Hopefully see another ghast as we go along. Yeah, here's the ghast. It has kind of like a holographic screen on the side of its face. I was wondering what that was before, but you can still see the ghast underneath. Fly over here real quick. Okay, yeah, these are what the trees in this biome look like. So, you know, I think the biomes look pretty good in this texture pack. There's a little bit of there's a lot of contrast between some of these blocks, but you know, it's not too bad, I guess. All right, let's go check out the stronghold below. All right, here's what the nighttime sky looks like. That's the moon. It's got, you can see the nuts and bolts on the moon. Let's fly over this way. Here's what a villager house looks like. I think they look pretty good. You got a decent level of contrast between the roofs and the stairs and the bodies of the houses. That makes them look nice. Fly over this way. Here's what a cobweb looks like. It's just kind of square. Got some glowing blocks here. I guess that's the magma. This is what the ruined portal looks like. I think that the crying obsidian looks nice against the regular obsidian there. Fly back over this way. Yeah, see, that's a regular creeper, I'm pretty sure. Not a charged creeper, but they look like they should be charged. I'm wondering if that's a Minecraft glitch or what, because we've seen several packs that the creepers had that kind of thing going on. We will go down into the stronghold. Stronghold looks pretty good. That's what the particles on the bottle of enchanting look like. String a potion of strength. That's the swirlies. Oops, I'm opening and closing a door instead of... Didn't change the goat horn sound. Wasn't this pack supposed to have special sounds? Let's try. I know this is gonna make the video take longer, but let's go ahead and try punching a mob. Here's a spider. Oh, that just killed him. Hold on, try doing it with the torch. They just sound pretty normal to me. Okay. Well, does the iron golem make a different sound? Some of the sound effects were replaced by robotic noises, was what the description was saying, but very different looking crossbow here. That's what reloading the crossbow looks like. That's fun. That's kind of a different vibe. And we will stick an Eye of Ender in here. Oh, check out the end portal. That's very different. That's pretty wild. I like that. I like what they've done with some of the effects in this pack. Here's another look at the Endermen. And fly over here for an end crystal, and then we'll look at the Ender Dragon. Yeah, I kind of like what they did with the end crystal there. That's interesting. Got a nice platform and all that. Here's the Ender Dragon. We will fly over where we can see it better. There you go. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good Ender Dragon. It looks appropriately robotic, right? Yeah. Didn't do anything terribly wild with its geometry, but it still looks different enough from the regular Ender Dragon. It looks very robotic. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on this pack? Well, I think that for the price, I think they did a really good job with this one. I think that the blocks were very thematic, and I like that the armor stand and the cart had different geometry. They looked, you know, totally different from normal. Some of the blocks had animation. They were mostly very simple animations, but you know, pretty. Just that's a nice added level of spice. And there were variants on some of the blocks, as you can see. You know, what did I write here? Oh, the signs were a little. Some of the signs were difficult to read, unfortunately. That's kind of a minor thing, but you know. As far as the items go, I thought that the armor made you look like you're a robot or like you're augmented, which was fun and on brand. And we did have different tools, and all the items and tools and so forth were definitely on theme with being robotic. I thought that the swords and some of the tools and honestly some of the items were a little hard on the eyes, just from an aesthetic standpoint. Kind of difficult to quantify that sometimes, but like I didn't like the pixel density of the tools. I thought that there was a little too much going on, and it made it look kind of strange, especially like in your hand. This is not a good example. This was not the worst of the weapons, but it's what I've got. So yeah, let's see. As far as mobs go, I thought they were pretty fun, and there were some creative designs in there. Lots of different geometry and stuff. The very few mobs looked very close to vanilla. And there were some nice effects on some of the mobs as well, like smoke coming off of vents and whatnot on some of them. And there was just a good variety overall, and some of the accessories animated on their bodies as well. You know, visors on the frogs would slide down over their eyes, and some of the one of the animals had, or one of the mobs had, like antenna that wiggled. And as far as the UI goes, I think it's very usable, and I did like the fact that the screens, the books were screens, so you know, kind of adds to that level of roboticness, roboticism, however you would say that. There were a couple of little problems with the pack. The Striders had kind of a hair glitch going on, which was unfortunate because it makes them look broken, because you can see right through most of their bodies when you're looking at them from certain angles. So that needs to be fixed. And the cats were also broken. It seemed like only the tamed cats were broken. So if you tame a cat, it kind of glitches out in a weird way. So I think ultimately I'm going to give this like a 4.3. I think that they've done a really good job with this, and especially for the price point, because it's only 490 Minecraft coins, or half that if you've got the Marketplace Pass when it's on there. Yeah, there's some things that need addressing, that need to be fixed in an update, and you know, some things that I thought could have looked better, but overall a pretty good pack. I do recommend it if you're looking for to make your entire Minecraft world look robotic. So hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, everybody's kind of having a difficult time right now with getting views on YouTube. I'm not going to go into that in depth, but it's definitely affecting my channel as well. I've been getting like 20 views on some videos. So, you know, not great, but it is what it is, and YouTube may or may not fix it. So anyway, so please do support the channel by subscribing if you haven't already. And thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. Drifter Garden was filmed in front of an undead studio audience. Beware the radioactive mongoose of darkness.